healthy like me, physically, mentally, emotionally, and work really hard on being good at you.
Healthy mind, healthy body, healthy life. Soul Food on Smooth 98.1.
Love music, love life. It's a part of breakfast in bed, and we call it soul food. What are we feeding you? We're filling you with good information, education about your health and wellness. And as I told you about the World Health Organization, it's a state of complete wholeness, wellness, socially, mentally, physically, not just the mere absence of diseases or infirmity. And so this show caters to every aspect of your health. That's why this morning, on the 21st of February 26, on Breakfast in Bed, we are going to understand loneliness. Well, we hope we will understand it. And I'm not going to be teaching you about it. I have employed the help of a counseling psychologist as well as family therapist. And she's joining us all the way from the Federal Capital Territory. She is Mrs. Adaobi Ikechebelu. Did I get that right? Good morning.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. So good to be here. Well done for what you're doing. Thank you for having me. I deeply appreciate.
Thank you for being my guest this early morning. And let's get right to it in understanding, because before we even go into fully understanding loneliness, we want to know if there is any psychological point of view to the definition. Because if I say loneliness from a layperson's point of view, or by the dictionary definition, I would say maybe when a person feels left out or a person cannot seem to find a sense of belonging for whatever reasons. But psychologically, how do you define or what is loneliness?
All right, thank you so much again. One may not say that loneliness is exactly a mental health issue. However, there are every signs that shows that it's a symptom of one of those mental health issues. So, when we talk about cycle, it's all about the mind. It's all about what happens in the mind, our emotions, and all of that. So, loneliness in that aspect, as it relates to our mind, because it's also what happens in the mind, right? Is a state of the mind, which is it makes us feel like is a place where someone is isolated, you feel empty, you feel unwanted, you struggle for connection, you struggle to form secured connection, reliable connection, despite being in the midst of a lot of people. You see, so it's something that happens also in the mind. So we cannot say that it's not entirely a psychological issue, right? So anything that makes you comfortable, makes you think that you are not worthy, you are not wanted, it is definitely affecting someone's mind and emotion. So that is it for loneliness in terms of trying to define it and connect it to psychology. It's actually a subjective emotion, because the way I explain, the way I express loneliness may be different from the way you express it, depending on what led to it, what causes it for an individual. So it's really complex and it's subjective.
Thank you. We'll get to the data, because when I was checking online, I realized it was a little bit different from what I thought it would. Typically, I thought maybe we might have it in the older generation gradually, maybe as a result of people around them leaving. But turns out that according to the data, loneliness is generally higher among adolescents, young
Honestly,
adults, and that is
exactly.
shocking. Please tell me about that.
It is. It is. I think there was a survey that was done sometime in around 2014 or 2022. I'm not very sure, which shows that a lot of young persons, a lot of young persons goes through this. And it is for obvious reasons, we are in a digital era, in a digital world where most people, you know, don't really engage in meaningful relationships anymore because we have our phones, we have our laptop, we have social media, we have all these digital spaces to interact with, which makes it feel like we are, we are busy, we are having fun. However, we are losing meaningful relationships. So it won't be a surprise to see that loneliness has crept into the younger generation, right? Because this is where we are. I don't know what it is now. Are we now? I don't know what. It's not just for Gen Zs. There are so many Gen whatever,
Yeah.
So it is the digital era that had made us look down on meaningful relationship or kind of sidelined meaningful relationships and drew people's focus to media. Attention now goes to media. So you see, probably before the digital era, one might find loneliness as something that is associated with older people, people who are aging, people whose children have, gone to find survival and all of that, and they are left alone after
Yeah.
raising these children. Unfortunately, it is no longer that way. It is no longer that way. So even our children, imagine a typical example would be a family sitting together at home, for instance. The father is watching television, the mother is on WhatsApp, for instance. The children are watching YouTube with their tablets and everything. They are physically present, but very, very far apart. So you see, that is how loneliness creeps in. And when these gadgets or when these medias are not there, or when the children get so used to it, when they even sit with their parents, they find it difficult to have a meaningful conversation. Relationships are
Wow.
being lost here. It is
Can you hear
heartbreaking, really. So we
you?
really
It's indeed
need to
heartbreaking.
redirect to the younger generation. And by the time it's us, it can affect them. And younger ones, you see how it affects them. As much as technology had brought us a lot of goods, it equally came with its own disadvantages.
A
And
double-edged
we are
sword.
not being very mindful of this.
Can you hear me?
I didn't hear you the last time. I
Yeah,
think
there's a little bit of network interference or delay or whatever is going on.
okay.
We'll take a breather, and
Okay.
when we come back, we'll continue with some of the findings, because part of it is that the countries because Gallup did a survey across different countries and across different continents, and Africa seems to have lonely people, and I wonder why. We'll continue right after this breather. In case you're just joining us for the first time, this is Soul Food right on Smooth 98.1, and we are talking about loneliness. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, it went to I don't know if it was a network. At some point, I couldn't even see your video, but now it's back. Let's hope it stays this way. We're good now. We hope it stays this way.
Okay. Okay.
February 2026, you can enjoy up to 70% discount on televisions, air conditioners, refrigerators, washing machines, and lots more. Visit any Sims Digital Center at Cathy Street, Alausa, Allen, Ikeja City Mall, Omole, Oba, Apple Junction, Aguda, Surulere, Victoria Island, and Aja, or shop online at www.simsng.com. For more details, call 9010376670 or 7000307467. Terms and conditions apply. Sims Digital Centers for the right combination of quality and price.
This is Beyonce, Chef, and you're in Fluid 98.1. Love music, love life.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to Soul Food on Smooth 98.1. It's 13 minutes past 8 o'clock, and Soul Food is about your health and wellness. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun. This morning, we are trying to understand loneliness, what it is and how it comes on, and the different kinds of it, as well as what the data is saying, because I came across the data that says that it contributes to quite a number of deaths, or it's according to World Health Organization, loneliness may contribute to about 871,000 deaths annually. So if you put it into perspective, that's roughly 100 deaths every hour. Not that loneliness is causing it, but it's contributing to it. Now, this morning with my guest, Mrs. Adaobi Ikechebelu, we're trying to understand loneliness. We've gotten past the definition as well as how it presents. We have realized that it seems to be common in the younger ones compared to the aged ones. But before we go on, I'd like to understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. People can choose to be alone, but does it mean they're lonely? Is there a fine difference between it?
Of course, loneliness is usually it's something that is involuntary. It's something you are not. It's something that is not wanted. I believe nobody wants to be lonely, right? However, solitude on the other side is deliberate. It's something you decide to go for. So they are two entire different things. Solitude actually is something that equally can help you to be mentally sound, because there would be a time in one's life when you choose to kind of be alone, set apart, just reflect, have some time alone where you reflect and, be able to process certain things, certain areas of your life, and equally chart a way forward. So solitude and loneliness, they are two opposites. For me, they are two opposites, whatever, because loneliness is a bad feeling. I don't think is something that anyone wants to be in. It's kind of, you are isolated, you feel unwanted, you feel rejected. However, solitude is a choice. It's something you decide to embark on. It's something you give yourself some time of, go through whatever it is that you're going through, and come out with a clearer and a clearer strategy to even do better in life. So solitude is accepted as a way to even improve your mental health. It is a very good process to improve your performance and whatever it is you are doing. But loneliness is something that nobody wants to to experience.
Thank you. Please note that you can join this conversation by sending a message to us on WhatsApp, and that will be 0911 999 0981. Again, 0911 999 0981. And if you're sending a message, please do include your name, especially if it's for the first time. Now, if you'd like to call, yes, you can as well. That will be 0700 2255 981. Again, 0700 55981. On WhatsApp, he says, "Hi, my name is Ifelua. I think I'm lonely because I've created a scenario in my head whereby I feel there's less drama when I keep to myself. Truly, there is, and things get done. And I have been this way for 7 years now, but it's eating me up and affecting my social life. Help," in capital letters. Do you have something to say to that?
Yeah. 7 years is a long time to be in a place where you feel isolated from a lot of people, family, loved ones. I think you need to thank you for even identifying with this, being able to speak up, being able to write about it is something that I'm proud of. I mean, I'm super proud of you for doing that. And I think with this awareness on discussion about loneliness, you would also gain more insight. The truth is, there is always a place to start. You need to identify what made you, what put you in that place, what caused you to be there. Uh, would it be some relational issue? Was it is it something to do with psychological self-esteem? Whatever, what happened? So that is the first step. You need to identify what led to that feeling. And then you also need to be deliberate about this healing, because you need to, whatever it is you want to do, obviously, if you are screaming help, it means that you need to take deliberate measures to help yourself out of this. So it is something that will be gradual, because 7 years is a very long time. You need to seek help either from a professional, because if it is something that had happened for months, I would say, okay, maybe start socializing, find a community where you support people, and find value. Let people start adding value to other people's lives in little ways that you can, so you don't get overwhelmed. But 7 years is a long time, and we wouldn't know the level of harm that has been done. So I think the best thing to do is to speak with a trusted member of the family, or trusted friend, or trusted professional that can guide you through whatever it is that led you into it. Because when in trying to figure out what is going on, we need to dig deeper to understand where it came from and why. Because it's not just to solve the loneliness at surface level, there are issues that led to it. And when we don't get to the roots, it's definitely going to manifest again. So I'm sending you warm hugs, and I'm hoping that you send a message to family or anyone you feel that can, suggest helpful measures. It can be a professional, yes, a therapist to start with, a counselor to start with. Yes, they will be able to guide you emotionally, through this journey. All right.
As you went through that explanation, what came to my mind is family. So please tell us, in your thoughts and opinion, what would you say is the role of the family now in this time in preventing loneliness and making sure, because I know that there is a possibility that a child might be there at home smiling even, but the child is feeling lonely. So how does a family make sure that their child never gets to that point?
The truth is, like we we often say, the family is the most important nation in this world. And you see, it is most important because that is where everyone's journey starts. So it is, no one chooses a nation where they come from, right? So it is obvious that every child, we don't determine where we come from. And for every parent that brings in a child into this world, we have a major responsibility, because a child comes into this world with, clean slate, not knowing anything, not knowing their hand, not knowing their leg. It is the environment that nurtures the children into becoming whatever kind of adult they turn to be. So you see that, first of all, the parents and the upbringing, everything has a role to play. Whatever it is that we are doing, whatever it is that parents do, the children be able to learn from it, even without seeing them do it. The way we live our life is a typical example of how the children turns out. Because children they are very good in identifying hypocrites, people who say one thing and they do the other one. So you see, sometimes even when you are trying to let the children, to keep them off media, What kind of life are you living as a parent? So what kind of relationship, what kind of connection have you been able to build with these children? Have you been deliberate? I mean, one may say intentional about it. What kind of communication do you have that when they are going through stuff, they are able to open up to you? They are able to find you as someone to run to and not someone to run from. You see, so parenting is not just, it should be a safe space for our children to be able to confide in us. But what happens these days is that we have parents who have children, but we are not present. We are physically present, but we are not emotionally present. We are not, we are not even able to answer some of their questions, some of their concerns. And this thing tends to, you know,
No, now, please. Here we go again. Well, I hope that the network allows us.
Gets even worse. Things get worse. We have younger generation who attempt suicide. How did they get there? Right? We have parents who are present, but not emotionally present, not emotionally connected. Even partners. So it is not about the quantity of people, it's about the quality. It is not about having your grandmother, your parents, your siblings. No, it's not about that. It's about having quality relationships, quality connection that really speaks to your mind, that understands you. So that's it for me for now.
Thank you.
On that very question.
Now, at the risk of making your answers sound repetitive, because we're aiming for crystal clarity here, how can you tell that someone is lonely? In other words, what will be the signs that you see in a person or even a child that makes you know, oh no, this person is lonely?
Yeah, because it's the major thing that you notice about loneliness is isolation, withdrawal, negativity. These are some of the signs. People who, when people tend never to see anything good about themselves, they are always looking out for the negatives. When you tell them they are handsome, they tell you they are not. They are always withdrawn. Something happened, in my own, I've had a parent talk about, in my practice, a child, whenever the girl comes back from the boarding school, she tends to lock herself up in the room. So oftentimes she is just there with her gadgets. And then when the mother reached out to me, I told her, no, this is something is beginning to happen. You need to bring her out. Don't allow her. She's always in her room, busy doing that and that. No, a lot of things can go wrong from that place, even without you knowing. So you see that when a child starts isolating themselves at home, maybe a parent might want to rest. You want to just sleep. You want to have a good time for yourself, and you feel it's okay. There is more to it. There is more to it. You just want to rejoice and say, "Oh, I have this time to myself." When the children are quiet around the house, and you don't care, even if as young adults, adolescents, even as teenagers, when they are quiet, so quiet around the house, you don't care. You feel the house is just quiet. It's a good time to rest. No. So when the children are being withdrawn, when they are always showing signs of withdrawal, you want them to attend a function, they prefer staying on their own. They are not comfortable in the midst of people. They are usually negative. They don't see anything good in themselves. They compare themselves, with the least of things. You see, so these are some of the little signs that parents should watch out for. Who have they been before? What kind of child do you have? What changed? So it's because when we pay attention, we observe. When we don't pay attention, you won't even know the difference. You would think they are just growing, they are maturing, right? So, and then we ask them questions. Something can happen in school. Something might go wrong in school. There are children who are being bullied in school. Emotionally, not physically, even from school. They don't find it. So we need to pay attention and be observant. It can show in different other ways, right? But this is it.
Thank you. We'll quickly run through the messages on WhatsApp. And proudly King TJ from Ogun State says, can someone be surrounded by love and still feel lonely? Why? I think you've explained that, but do you want to quickly go over that again?
Yes. I said earlier that it's not about the quantity of people around you, it's the quality of the relationships you have. So we have spouses, for instance, by the grace of God, I'm in marriage and family. And so we have spouses who are physically present, but emotionally far apart. When the need of an individual is not met, you will agree with me that at the heart of every man or every woman is a desire, is a need. Emotional need is one of them. Psychological, physical need. So when the need of an individual is not met by the people by parents or spouse, when the sexual need or whatever, there are so many needs that when they are not being met, you will see that an individual will feel deprived, will feel empty, will feel lonely, even when they are in the midst of a lot of people. So, yes.
The second question from King TJ is, as regards self-discovery, what can loneliness reveal about one's deepest desires in life?
I didn't get that.
So he's asking, as regards self-discovery rather, what can loneliness reveal about one's deepest desires in life? I thought that was
What can
solitude.
loneliness reveal about one's deepest desire in life? There are different things that can cause loneliness. I think I've mentioned emotional gap. It's also possible that it's personality thing. Is a personality thing. People, for instance, who are introverts tend to be, they are not very social. They are always, they love to, most of the time, tends to be all by themselves. So with regards to loneliness and self-discovery, it's very important that you understand what kind of personality and the person you are, the personality you have is as a result of three things: the environment that nurtured you, the kind of background and experiences you've had as a person. So it's possible that you were not even naturally an introverted person, but things had happened that made you to withdraw. So in terms of self-discovery, it is very, very essential that you sit down and analyze who are you? What are the things that makes you come alive? What are the things that puts you off and things that makes you feel awkward or feel not like yourself? So these are some of the questions you need to ask yourself to be able to understand what personality you carry before getting to, what led to, if, for instance, you are feeling lonely because you are introverted, you are withdrawing because of emotional issues. So those things will answer that question for you. It's in the place of self-reflection that you'll be able to understand what personality do you carry. And then from that, you'll be able to, the more you ask, the more self-aware you become. The more you're able to understand what works for you, the kind of things that makes you come alive, and the kind of things that makes you withdraw.
Well, he said he's extroverted in nature, and that's one thing that sometimes I don't know if I should say it's scare, because I know that I have seen reports of those who were, in my own words, high functioning lonely people. And we hear of cases of suicide. But you see this person who's been up around and lively and doing all that they can. In fact, they seem to be enjoying life. And the next minute you hear that they're gone and suicide. That really
Yeah.
can be scary. All
No,
right, go on, please.
people can be okay. And people can look outwardly excited, lively, but going through a lot within. So the fact you cannot equate our liveliness to to sound emotional health.
Indeed.
And sometimes people are not able to put a name to what they are going through within until it escalates to depression, to anxiety. And all of this, can make one to take a decision, an abrupt decision that no one see coming.
On a final note, Wilson says, can loneliness lead to depression? Is there any good aspect of loneliness? Loneliness for a short time, is it good? Can someone decide to be lonely for some time and work on something? Is it okay? Do we have positive and negative loneliness? If we have negative loneliness, what's the best way to manage it? I believe you already answered this, but quickly, just for the sake of Wilson again.
For me, there is no positive loneliness. It's either you are choosing to go on a solitude journey, or you are dealing with something. And so loneliness leads to a whole lot of things because we are made as humans to be social. We are social beings. We are meant to interact. We are meant to relate. And so when we are not relating, a lot could be going on within. And you see, when something is going on inside, it's very difficult to tell. When you are having when you're running temperature or you're having headache, it is something you can feel it. Someone by your side will know. But when something is going on within, people may not see it. You're just everywhere laughing, but something is going on and is affecting your decision making. You see people make poor decisions because they are not there. They are not present even for themselves. So there is no positive loneliness. There is never anything like positive loneliness. It is dangerous. It is something that makes you feel isolated. It makes you feel unwanted. It makes you withdraw and it makes you feel empty. And it can lead to a lot of brain issues. It can even lead to memory loss. It can lead to a whole lot of substance abuse, people abuse, even, a lot of things. So I think because of our time,
Yes, we're out of time.
yeah.
But thank you for taking your time to explain all of these. Before I let you go, I just need you to give a summary and to someone who's lonely out there, what would you say to them?
Yeah, the truth is, I would want you to, if you have started feeling you don't like to socialize, you find yourself withdrawing, you love to be on your own often. In fact, your phone or your gadget has become your best friend and you are noticing you're lacking quality relationship. You need to sit and find out what is going on. Is it about emotional issues? Is it about your does it have anything to do with existential? Did you relocate? Does it have anything to do with space where you find yourself? Is it social? You need to realize or understand what is going on and try on your own to even start adding values to other people's lives. Gradually, find a way to help out in little ways in the community. It could be in the church, place of worship. It could be anywhere. Just find a way to contribute. By so doing, you will find joy again. you can find fulfillment in adding value to other people's lives. So in doing it, but if these little measures are not able to help you, then it's time to speak to a professional, reconnect to family, reconnect to all those old relationships. Sometimes we keep on building new ones. We try to look forward to building new ones. But sometimes we have old relationships that we have abandoned. There are good old relationships that we need to maintain. We need to reconnect with, So these are some of the things I would want you to do for now, so you don't get lonely.
Thank you, Mrs. Adaobi Ikechebelu. She is a counseling psychologist as well as marriage and family therapist. And you can find her on Instagram at Mending Roots Counseling, right?
Yes, Mending Roots. Mending
Great.
Roots Counseling Services, yes.
All right. So thank you very much again for giving us part of your time this morning and walking us through loneliness. We hope that we have enough information to deal with it now and we're able to pull ourselves out. And on that note, we're done with Soul Food this morning. Next week, we'll go again from 8 o'clock right here on Smooth 98.1. Coming up shortly is the segment for the children, which is Curious Minds. And if you have children, age range 6 to 15, please tell them to come around. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun.
And the rest will follow.
Thank you so much.
You, Oluwaseun Olusegun. Thank you so much for having me as well.
Thank you. Now, before I let you go, right. So I decided to stretch